Another thing we had touched on, but you didn't elaborate as much on, was your first investing story. So I want to know, because I actually don't know, when you first started investing, was it towards more of what Dave teaches, or did you start learning investing in some of the other ways like you hear from the Robert Kiyosaki's, Grant Cardone's,
Uh,
that
so
kind
at that,
of
when I first started investing, I didn't know about the Robert Kiyosaki's, the Grant Cardone's, things like that. Only thing I knew was, the Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, invest in growth stock mutual funds, good growth stock mutual funds. But I had no idea what those was. I had no clue about nothing. And I happened to be in Iraq, and I've been plowing at the debt, plowing at the debt, plowing at the debt. I had my emergency fund over there cooking, and so I'm plowing at the debt. And then one day, so it's not like, I don't know what people imagine like combat zones or wars like, but
like Saving Private
when
Ryan. Right.
yeah, it's not like that no more. All right,
Right, right,
so
right.
we have a big dining facility. I say dining facility, let's just call it a football field long. And that's where when you want to go eat meals, you have, it's catering companies there that have food there that serve breakfast, lunch, dinner, midnight child. That was my favorite. But they serve it every day. They have, TVs in there, usually on, a news station, Fox or CNN. And then one day I'm just bebopping through, me still laser focused, just pay off debt, pay off debt, pay off debt. And then so I'm walking through the dining facility with some of my soldiers, and then the TV's on, and it says, "This is the greatest recession since the Great Depression." That was the headline that went across there. And then so I saw it, and I kept walking, and then my brain just started racing when I heard that. I said, "The Great Depression recovered, this one will recover also." I just knew that's the only thing that was clicking in my brain. I didn't know how to capitalize off of it. And then I start thinking Great Recession. Then I start thinking stock market, and I'm looking like, well, I don't know nobody that looked like me that ever made anybody on stock market. Heck, I don't even know nobody that looked like me that ever invested a dime. That was my mindset. So I'm thinking I don't know how to capitalize on it. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know anything. So anyway, I eat with the soldiers and all that, and then we walking back. But that's those same comments are still rolling through my head the whole time. And then something made me remember, hey, your cousin, my cousin's wife, she went to school for finance. So I was taking the total Hail Mary shot in the dark. So I called her and I said, "Hey, Tanya, that's her name. Rest in peace. Tanya's passed now, but I always give her the gratitude and everything about this." But I called Tanya and I said, "Hey, Tanya, do you know anything about the stock market?" And she's like, "Well, I went to school for finance, and then they showed us what it was, but I never invested myself." So I just said, "Tell me everything that you know and a little bit that you remember from school, and then I'll take it from there." And then she just said, "So you buy a stock in a company, and every share represents a percentage of ownership." And then she said, "Hey, you want to get in a blue chip stock that pays you dividends, and then they will pay you dividends on a quarterly basis, and you go from there." And then after that, I said, "So what's the stock that'll do that?" And then she said, "Well, one we always talked about in school was Merck. Merck, MRK is the symbol. Merck,
What does it
the
do?
healthcare."
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So healthcare. So, and this is how much I didn't know, right? So, I, so don't you know now they got the trading platforms. Back then they had the trading platforms also. They had the USAAs. They had a couple other that had you could buy stocks in a brokerage account. So what did I do? So she told me based off of her knowledge, and I don't know how many years it was from the time that she went to school. Then I was talking to her. I never asked her that. And then she's like, "Yeah, you just go to the company's website, and then you could buy the stock off the website." And the truth is, you
Yeah,
could. So
yeah, yeah,
that's
right.
exactly what I did. I went to the company's website, and then I transferred money over there, and I bought X amount of shares based off the money I had. And that was my first investment ever. And then that was my first baptism into passive income. Because true to form, like you said, you put the money in there. And now I didn't put a lot of money in there. I put like $1,200, $1,300 in there. But true to form, every 3 months they sent me a check. And then she said, reinvest, you put it in a drip or reinvest dividends. It's a button. And your dividend that they pay you, the check that they'll pay you every 3 months, will buy you more shares. So your dividend check will be higher. And true to form, that's what happened. And that was my first step into investing at all, period, ever. Besides my failed business ventures when I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But that was the
Okay.
first one
Okay,
that worked.
so it wasn't along Dave's plan because as he teaches, investing in mutual funds and not single company stocks. But I like it. Now, what did I'm assuming you sold it, right? Did you sell that stock or do you still
Yeah,
have that?
yeah. I ended up
Got
selling
stuck
it
with
out of
Dave.
out of the website.
Yeah, sold it out of the website, right? What did you
Yeah,
sell
yeah.
it for? If
Well, again, it was at a depressed price. I say the stock price maybe went up $2 or $3. I mean, because Merck is not one of those big high volatile, companies. I kept it for maybe 2 quarters while I was there in Iraq, and then I got out of it just because I didn't know. I didn't know. I was like, oh well, I can use this money, and being very ignorant as in not knowing the stock market, and you're supposed to sit there and hold it for a long time. I'm thinking a long time is a month. 3 months is a long time, but
right.
long time mean years and decades. Well,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I made some money. I can use that and pay down some debt. So that's what I did. But when it comes to Dave Ramsey, so after that, spill in the stock market, I couldn't, that was all the information that she had about, investing. And then so I just started looking up after that, I started looking up mutual funds and things like that. And Dave talk about four mutual funds and growth and income, international or aggressive growth, excuse me. And then I started looking at mutual funds, and then by this time I looked on my own bank website and seeing that they had a brokerage account where you can actually buy stuff at. Excuse me. And then so what I did after that, then I started following Dave's plan. But I didn't have enough for four mutual funds, so I only started with one. I just putting $50 a month in there, and
All
I
right.
I would say, and I still have the same mutual fund to this day. I still do have that same mutual fund to this day, but that's how it started. Just putting $50 a month into the mutual fund, but I still have mutual funds to this day. But now I actually passed that mutual fund down to my son, and I still put money in that same mutual fund to this day. And but I did follow the plan to add the other mutual funds along the way. But yeah.